Alright, welcome back. Video 3. It'll probably be the last video tonight. I'll still be working on some wands, but I have some other wands that I'm working on too. That are more private. So last time we established that the wand was going to need to go and be pointed this way. Because it just makes sense to line up this visually attractive area with this visually attractive area. Which we are going to need to reduce, I'm pretty sure, so it may be less attractive, but this won't be. And it should probably be that natural-esque feature that I want to keep. So I don't know if we can. Probably need a stiffer brush for that one. But that means we have some changes to make when we look at it like this. This side is way too large. It needs a reduction significantly because it sticks out from this one. And then once we reduce this side, we'll have to reduce the other side to make it consistent, which is fine because that's exactly what we expect to do. And I need to sharpen this pencil because it's getting to be annoying, or I can just kind of go there. I do actually want to sweep these away immediately because they will mark up the wand, mark up the table. Well, I mean, the table's already a wreck, but whatever. Which is ironic because the name is Lifetime on this table, but man, I've beat the hell out of this thing. There we go, much better. My coloring's not very good to begin with, so I need all the help I can get, right? All right. So, got this. Now, reasonably, we're going to have to take this to here. But I want to go into here first because I have to be very careful with this wand. See, look, I just chipped shit out with just with this pencil. Very careful with this wand. Let's just not be making big plans until we have the little ones in place, I guess, right? I mean, you could take off a lot of material real quick here, like I said before, but you don't necessarily know what's underneath. And what we're looking at here is a new vein. Okay. Alright, let's find our vantage point. It's pretty good. It needs to go more. That's... If it's as shallow as this other stuff, then I'm totally cool with that, because it's not really going to play a part. But, you know... Basically just going over the area again. Chisel down this time. Shallow so far. It's good. It's good. Still see some red. I know this is going to need to be reduced. Let's just go ahead and do that now. Doesn't match. I've been. Okay. I've been reducing, not areas I've been. Yeah, that's. Okay. Orientation looks pretty good, looks pretty straight. Flare off at the end here, but that's cake. It's good. All right, so since we think that this end is going to work, let's go ahead and start fashioning this middle, so we can fashion this end. I think I'm gonna have to take this part in right here, because it kind of gets a little bit bulbous, and it does curve this way, so I'll have to take this in and almost taper it down a little bit too, just not quite as much, so that it looks like a the wand end, the wand tip. So this is going to have to come in for the tapering. That's going to have to go. We can see there's still a slight curve here. It's fine. Let's take that out. We know we're going to have to take some of this out because this is now the side curve, right? Let's go ahead and do some coloring. Okay. And then that will kind of give us an idea of how much we can take this side down, because that's going to touch a significant area. Even though this is going to be light, this area is going to be a little bit heavier, which is still going to take no time at all with, unfortunately, with this wood. And I know I dog on it a lot, but let's just do a general reduction here all the way around here. Try to keep it somewhat uniform, because that's probably going to be the safest way to go. So I don't mind if there's a little lump here, because I need that visual representation, but I may have to reduce this some, because it's just a little bit too much of a crook right there. We know it's got to go, because it's just kind of hanging out there on the side. Yep, being a little aggressive here, that's alright. It doesn't take much with this soft wood. I'll probably, here before too much longer, I'll switch to the smaller chisel, because smaller chisel, I can kind of make smaller mistakes. And with the way this stuff kind of changes, and how easily it changes, then I kind of want to keep that in mind. You're going to get tired of hearing me say that, but it's of genuine concern, because I could literally take this thing and dig it in here with almost no effort. And while it's not going to make much difference if you're holding it and waving it around, it will make a difference if I have this piece of steel shape to do that, and put some force behind it. Because I could probably take an aggressive file and do some of these same things. It's going to look like, it's going to be hard to make a determination of what it should look like, and the file is going to catch every nook and cranny. And depending on how I angle this chisel, I won't, right? I mean, I will to some extent, but I won't, not like a file. Not like an aggressive file. Like the file I make incense with, if I want to make some cedar incense from a piece of cedar wood that I have. All right, let's go back to our form of reference. Here we go. Not bad, not bad. Getting down a lot quicker than I thought we'd get down. Quite frankly, this is only, what, video 3. Man, it makes me nervous. But I guess I just need to be a big boy about that now, don't I? All right. I can see this is a little thick here on this side. We're gonna have this problem here, and I'm really gonna do my best to keep all this, because it's the only part I expect to be able to really keep. I have to get rid of some of this to taper it down some, and I have to get rid of the sides. I can always taper this underside off, but I really need to keep this, and so I'm gonna have to feather this end down, or make this a gradual decline down here, right, as I do it. And some of that's going to just be done with a file, because I can use a softer, less aggressive file, more of a finishing file, right? Okay, so last wand we used a file that was a little bit more coarse, and we switched over to a file that was less coarse. And if I needed to, I would switch over to another file. Like you saw with the sandworm, that inside the mouth and stuff, I was using a much smaller file after I'd used a coarser one, and that's to help reduce the marks. And I could do that here too. It's just I can also do it with sandpaper. And here that might be a consideration, because this wood is just so, I mean, it's wonderful wood. It's beautiful wood. It's lovely to look at. It may sound dumb, but it's actually it's quite pleasing to hold. I like this wood. It doesn't have all right, I'm not going to get into the whole oh my God, this is such an amazing piece of wood, because I don't believe in some of that. Oh, my spirit does. I can get some of that, right? But this isn't my wand, right? I'm not going to get emotionally attached to this wand. This wand, if it lasts, will be put up for sale, right? And that's kind of the perspective I have to get. But I do really like holding Banyan wood. I do. So all right, so let's take a look at the rest of this wand. So if we want to keep this, which is going to be hard to do, this has a really hard edge right here, angle, excuse me. You can't quite see it. It doesn't do it justice. Sorry about that, but not much I can do. But it's kind of like this with a finger, right? It looks more like this. A lesser version of that. It's a defining feature of this straight angle. So I'll actually have to take down some of this, but not all of it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Because this area is actually pretty tough. Unfortunately, it has it's got some of those veins on the sides of it here, so I have to be kind of careful, because I don't know. I know this particular part of the wood is tough, but I don't know about anything else around it. And so we've reduced that a little bit. We've kind of reduced the feature a little bit, but we still have the line, and I think that's okay. It's less of an angle there. This little knot that kind of preceded it it's going to need to come down a little bit, but I think we can do that just fine. Let's actually do it from this angle. There we go. It's coming off, and I'm not going to want to reduce that much further. Okay. Oops, sorry. So I will reduce all these other areas first, which has consequences for this wand, because like this area right here is going to have to go. A lot of this is, I mean, most of this right here, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. There we go. Smooth this angle out here. I mean, most of this is, half this is going to have to go too, but for now. All right. Screw, let's do it, right? All right, so if we're looking at it like this, we got it pretty straight. We can't really force everything to line up the way we want, but it's actually pretty damn straight. And if we keep this in reference here, and we go up like this, we can see we still have to do a little bit of reduction here. We don't have to do a lot. That just big chunk we just took out did a lot of work for us. But here it's a different story, because we really haven't established our line on this sides, these sides yet, right? We know we want them here. We know we're going to reduce here. We really haven't defined that, and that's because all of our references are in this large, now straight-ish, not straight, but straight-ish line. Like we know this is going to have to come in because we don't really have much choice there. We don't necessarily know about this. This kind of juts out a little bit right here. We know we're going to have to take this in some right here because the wand curves this way. And we know we're going to have to take this in right here because the wand curves this way, right? So let's just go ahead and do that and get that stuff out of the way, because it may help. Ooh, see that? That's all vein. And that can make it harder to work it in a meaningful way, I'll say. It's not bad from a user perspective, because they can just cap the wand. They've got little caps you can put on these things. I don't use them because I usually just carve the wand, and the wand is exactly what I want. I'm not really interested in making it pretty for me, because that's not my that's not my concern. So we got this. We went ahead, and this is looking straighter. I'll take some of this down, but I'm literally going to leave most of this. It may feel a little, I'll have to see. It may or may not, it may not feel as strange as it may look, because it's going to be wider at the top here than it's going to be here, because I need to reduce it, but I don't want to reduce this feature. I've still got some red here. I should have just done my job, right? We can just do that. See, I just tipped that area out with a pencil alone. This is fraught with danger. let's just go ahead and some easy strokes here. There we go. Again, I could have done this with a file, but this leaves me with a more correct version. And in this case, I don't know if I'm gonna be using a file to clean the area up too many times. You know, like some of those harder woods, you know, we can do that, and there really aren't any consequences, and it may seem like it was just oh, I have to do this sort of thing, but it had, ooh, see, that just split out because there's this vein underneath it here. Damn it. I mean, we can always pull this area out, like I just said, and plug it with that wood filler, which is probably what I would do. But that doesn't mean I can not get the shape right. It just makes it more difficult. And I don't know anytime I use this chisel, because this just extended. And I can see a spot here. So anytime I go this way, this is pretty much going to get extended. So, yeah, see? We just don't know with this wood. Oof, oof, oof. We've got our feature. So this has to come down. This is too damn thick right here. Which means some of this, all right, fine. I know I'm making it sound like, you know, I'm being forced to do it, but this is me. I could leave this and it could just be a little wonky, and I could just say, oh, you file this down to your agreement, but that's not the way I am, right? Something like this. All right, see here, we don't have that cool gray, dark gray color that we had at the top, right? We don't have it at all. So that dark gray stuff is kind of why I was interested in keeping it, because it's not here. So you see what I'm saying? It's not there at all. So I know, first world problems, I get it, but oh my god, you see that was just split? Oh fuck. Oh, that makes me nervous. Alright, smaller chisels, smaller problems, right? Just sharpened this one here not too long ago too, so oh, see that? Oh, this is vein. Vein, vein, vein. Not quite in vein, haha, but you know, probably be putting the wood putty in there in the end. So I guess I prefer to not put the putty in there, but I got it because I knew I would be working on something that would split out. Now I do have that what the scar, oh crap, I can't remember the name. Have it up on Etsy. It's it had so many smaller degraded areas. It wasn't, I don't think it was Banyan. I pulled it out of Pearl Harbor actually, so I don't know what it is, but I doubt it was Banyan. And it is just so pitted and scarred that I took my burner and I burnt every place that it was pitted and scarred, and that worked out just like really, really well. And so that's kind of what got me kind of thinking a little bit, okay, well, that worked because that wand was just so pitted and scarred. It almost looked like a lunar landscape of a wand. You know what, honestly, I probably shouldn't be scraping this out right now. I should be waiting to do that. My bad. Why is because all of these edges can now be caught by the chisel and chipped out. So that's why. I was just kind of interested in seeing how deep this goes, and you can see here this goes much deeper. Like here's my thumb in it, right? Then the ones here in the end, right, where my thumb's not going anywhere near it. So this is going to have to be filled. But I should wait to do that because each one of these edges, and none of them are regular, can get caught on the chisel. So that was my bad. I just kind of I wasn't thinking. So, and that obviously happens. And I'm big enough to I'm a big enough boy to admit that. So let me go ahead and take some of this down since I'm working on this area anyhow. I don't want to get too much further into here just because of this, and I don't think this is really going to make much difference. I can reduce most of this. I'll probably be dealing with more stuff, but I can just use that filler, I think, to potentially, without having used it before, look into that. So let's just go ahead and reduce most of this. Just a little bit. And if I decide not to, I'll just use some sandpaper and get that, get those lines off. But I'm going to do it, I think. And that'll take us to the end of this video. Oh, so soft. Right, here we go. A little bit of pink still here. Oh, this makes me so nervous. There we go. I mean, do you think I had like a lot of money in this stuff? And most of the stuff I get when I go on hikes, or like sometimes I'll specifically go just to get wood. And it usually means I have to walk. I have to drive there, which can take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Do the hikes that I found it on to begin with, and then carry it back with me, usually alone. So I'm limited to what I can carry and a satchel that I have with me. So I can't exactly just get one of those little wagons. Now this is an interesting feature that's actually coming out right now. Really interesting. This is growing with work, so that's good. I'm glad it's growing personality with work here in this area, because that's usually not the case. Like this is still going to have to get reduced, even if you can't quite see the differences. I can, so getting awfully close to this area over here though, so I'm gonna have to angle it away a little bit. Go nice long strokes to make it uniform. Hold up. All right, I got somebody knocking. That'll be it for this video at 22 minutes, so have a good night.